what a day to have this conversation. There had been an expectation that we were going to get an executive order as recently as a month, or I guess as long ago as a month ago, on this topic. So perhaps not surprising to see the president posting about it, although as far as I know, we don't actually have an EO document in hand, at least not yet. What does it mean for defense? I'm
not sure. I think that, obviously President Trump is trying to motivate the defense industry to speed up production, which is greatly needed. We saw the news yesterday on Lockheed with the tripling of PAC-3 Patriot missile production. I think there's a lot of sides to this. The defense industry makes very complicated, highly technical weapons that, takes skilled labor. It takes security clearances. And if you've never been through a security clearance, it takes a long time. You can't speed it up. It's like aging whiskey. And there's probably not a lot. It's hard to qualify to be an employee of a defense contracting company. And on top of that, COVID, of course, increased prices. So inflation, and that sort of is, fluctuated contracts and renegotiating contracts. And then demands have changed. The world's evolved since some of these contracts, like the F-35, that was originally, planned out in 2000. And they had to say, hey, there's a new threat. We saw that in Gaza. We saw that in Ukraine. Technology is improving, and our weapon systems need to keep up with it. So there's a lot of renegotiating contracts, and it's hard. What the F-35 does is a very technical, highly skilled system, and there's no other jet that can do it in the world. So it's not as simple as I think of just waving a wand and making these things better. Yeah, and it does. It raises a lot of questions, including how do you actually define a defense contractor? I mean, the primes are one thing, but you also have some companies that have commercial aerospace businesses as part of their portfolios. You have the suppliers as well, and then you sort of have these new non-traditional entrants that are in the mix and contracting with the government as well. I was speaking to somebody in the industry just before the show started, and one of the things this person was noting was that so much of this hinges on the funding that you're getting appropriated from Congress, too. We can't even get past a continuing resolution or even a shutdown recently to be able to get to that place where you have a defense industrial base that's being shaped by one customer, the government, and takes years to come to fruition. So that's a key part of this, too, this idea that, quote unquote, it's expensive to buy down risk. So how does that factor in? It's like you said, there's one customer, there's a monopoly. You do not want to upset your one customer if you're a defense prime or any of the contractors. And you're trying to work on new programs. Obviously during COVID, you heard lead times went from 6 weeks to 26 weeks. I mean, that really disrupts a production line. And if you've never seen like the F-35 production line, it's a mile long and everything works in perfect concert. And if you have one thing missing, you can't fly an F-35 with 99% of the parts. It just doesn't work. And I think that's a big part of it. And on top of what you said is a chicken or egg situation. You need the funding. Defense contractors are not home speculators. They don't go buy a home and try to flip it, 10 months later. These are long-term, long lead programs. They're still flying the B-52, and they're probably going to be flying the F-35 for the next 20 plus years. I mean, just buckle your seatbelt, because you and I are sitting here, we're having this conversation, and we've got breaking news as we talk about it. Let's check out shares of RTX. Because that's trading lower here after hours. It's down 3% right now. Here's why. Because the president has just posted on social media that he's been informed by the Department of War that defense contractor Raytheon has been the least responsive to the needs of the Department of War, the slowest in increasing their volume, the most aggressive spending on their shareholders rather than the needs and demands of the U.S. military. Goes on to basically say that Raytheon seems to think this is the Biden administration, that this is, quote, business as usual. It's not. Either Raytheon steps up and starts investing in more upfront investment like plants and equipment, or they will no longer be doing business with the Department of War. This, in some ways, reminds me of late 2016 when President-elect Trump then started tweeting about things like F-35 and Air Force One. Yes. But if you're an investor in some of these names and in some of these stocks, especially since they have been trading right near record highs, and we do see this bigger, broader geopolitical threat landscape, and you do have orders coming in, not just from the U.S., but from abroad in bigger numbers as well. What do you do? What do you do with the stocks? I mean, you could look at it one way, saying more demand, and and then another way saying that when Raytheon built first of all, the Patriot line has been running for multiple decades, right? So it was designed for a certain amount of production, annual production. And just like yesterday, how Lockheed made an agreement to triple it. If you don't have some form of future outlook on what your production is going to be, it's just hard to go build a new plant. I mean, what if you're overcapacitized? That changes all of your economics, your operating leverage, your profitability. And I think defense contractors need assurities, and I think it really comes back to what you said with the continuing resolution. And getting funding and appropriations is a big issue.
So if you see a downdraft in these names, is it a buying opportunity in some of them right now, or you just need to sit on your hands because there's too much uncertainty?
How many months ago? A couple months ago, Israel launched 100 Patriots. I think there's high demand for the Patriot missile system. I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
And and Raytheon's it's one of our largest positions in our GCAD Gabelli ETF. Commercial aerospace and defense ETF. So we like it. We continue to like it.